The News Hour Special Edition.
Welcome back. Viewers, little over 2 months after the US attack on Iran disrupted the world's energy situation, the government in India gave the first clear signal that its capacity to absorb the surge in gas purchase prices has run thin. India's oil marketing companies on Friday announced a steep 933 rupee jump in 19 kg commercial LPG cylinder. One commercial LPG cylinder is now going to cost a whopping 3,071 rupees and 50 paise in Delhi. The hike has sent anxiety rippling through the visible and invisible network of big, medium and small enterprises that feed Indians every day. It will hit hotels, restaurants, roadside eateries, dhabas, cloud and hostel kitchens. A spike in commercial fuel prices can trigger a chain reaction. Meals getting expensive, leading to lower footfall, thus squeezed incomes and eventually fresh inflationary pressure and job losses. The hike can destabilize the informal economy that acts as the country's employment shock absorber. Why the hike? The answer is simple. Before the war started, Brent was around $73 per barrel, and on April 30, it was lurking around $114 per barrel. The government-owned oil marketing companies were bleeding due to the spiraling energy prices. Hit by the hike, a Bengaluru hotel's body has written to the Prime Minister seeking relief. The association wants immediate rollback or reduction of the price hike. It questions why commercial LPG is taxed at 18% while domestic LPG is taxed at 5%. If the government has removed the cushioning for commercial LPG, the question being asked is, how long will the no hike in engine fuels last? To shield consumers, the government on March 27 had slashed the excise duty on petrol and diesel by 10 rupees per litre. Opposition says relief was only till elections and now the pain will begin. The centre says it absorbed the shock at the fiscal system rather than passing it on to the consumers for 60 days. In the United Kingdom, diesel prices went up by 26%, petrol prices by 11%. In Germany and Western Europe, fuel prices have shot up by 19.8%, while overall EU diesel prices rose by 19.1% and petrol 10.6%. Listen in to what the opposition said and how the oil minister responded.
जिससे राहुल गांधी जी ने और कांग्रेस ने आशंका जताई थी कि गैस के दाम तो ट्रेलर है, फिल्म अभी बाकी, पेट्रोल डीजल के दाम भी बढ़ेंगे, कल से खबरें आ रही।
Bharatiya Janata Party had fooled the people of our country by this very big message campaign by none less than the Prime Minister कि बहुत हुई महंगाई की मार. People today are really getting the hit of the price rise.
We are with all difficulties. Modi government has maintained the price of the petrol, diesel and domestic LPG as it is, and even LNG, that is the natural piped natural gas.
सर, इन मोदी जी की जो समझदार और संवेदनशील सोच रही है, उसका नतीजा रहा है कि भारत के लोग इस वैश्विक विभीषिका के दौर में, युद्ध की विभीषिका के दौर में, और लोगों पर कम से कम भारत के लोगों पर असर पड़े या बिल्कुल ना असर पड़े, इसके लिए कोशिश हुई है.
The first responsibility in terms of the objectives set out by the Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi ji, was to keep India supplied. Let me be plain. When a global supply chain faces disruption of 20 to 30% on important routes and products, no country can be insulated from the shock. Freight costs rise, insurance costs rise, cargoes are delayed, and every important country is forced to make hard choices.
Now, viewers, the government clearly walks a tightrope. The government is already bearing the increased cost of domestic and fertilizer subsidies. ATF fuel hike is hurting the aviation industry, and economic pain is arriving through the back door. So we ask tonight, can the thinning shield continue and till when? And is the commercial cylinder price hike a precursor to more economic pain? To discuss it, I'm joined on the broadcast by Sanju Verma, National Spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party, Tushar Gupta, political analyst, Kamruzaman Chaudhary, political analyst. Also joining us is Dr. Pooja Mishra, National Spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party. Good evening to all of you. Sanju Verma, to you first, because you understand economy as well. You're a national spokesperson of the BJP too. I want to ask you, it is a reality. There are supply disruptions because of what's happening, around the Strait of Hormuz. The crude oil prices are rising and oil marketing companies cannot really continue bearing the losses for a very long time. So my direct question is, can the thinning shield really continue, and for how long?
Hina, let's get one thing very clear. For everybody out there from the Darbari ecosystem, which has been lampooning the Modi government, saying, oh, these guys were waiting for elections to get over, and see, there's been a 933% increase in commercial gas cylinder prices. To them, my simple message is this. In the last couple of weeks alone, point number one, Brent crude prices have risen by 81% to $114 a barrel. Point number two, Saudi Aramco has raised contract gas prices to $900 a ton, which works out to a 66% increase. The spot prices of LNG in international spot markets is up, how much? 124.7%. It does not end there. European gas futures are up 72%. Urea prices have more than doubled from $400 to $800. So what am I arriving at? What I'm saying is that if you look at every international metric related to oil and gas, prices have snowballed from anywhere between 44% to 124%. Vis-a-vis that, I think in India, we've done a commendable job in containing prices. But at this point in time, for every liter of petrol sold, the oil marketing companies in India face an under-recovery of 26 rupees a litre. For every litre of diesel sold, the OMCs in India are facing an under-recovery of anywhere between 39 rupees to 87 rupees. Now we cannot have our OMCs continue to under-recover and face losses, because eventually it will pinch customers and taxpayers like you and me. So if the government has taken the decision at this point in time to have a calibrated increase in commercial gas cylinder prices, so be it. And I just want to say one more thing, Hina, before I, come to a full stop. Just look at the entire scenario globally. In barely last 3 weeks, diesel prices in Australia up 40%, Singapore 34%, United States of America 33%, Spain 31%, China 19.2%, and guess what? Even in places like California, because we are always told don't compare India to Pakistan, Nepal, let's compare ourselves with the biggest and the best. The prices per gallon of fuel in the United States in places like Los Angeles is more than $6. From barely $3 a couple of weeks back.
All right. Kamruzaman Chaudhary, you heard what the oil minister also had to say, and you heard what Sanju Verma said just now. Petroleum minister said that no country can stay insulated, and for about 60 odd days, the government managed to provide a shield to the Aam Aadmi, which hasn't really been the case with other countries. And the question being asked is, why link it to elections? Because if you see how prices really move in this country, oil marketing companies on 1st of every month revise the prices.
Yeah, Hina, today when we talk about the oil price hike and what the country is going through, I must remember Manmohan Singh today. 2013, when the crude oil prices were $110, that time UPA government fixed the rate at 70 to 75 rupees, I believe, for a liter of petrol out there. We deferred the payment to the oil marketing companies by issuing oil bonds, which saved crores and thousands of crores of rupees for the union government at that time. Today, when Narendra Modi government has come to power after 2014, at least on an annual basis, the government is collecting cess in the range of 1.5 to 2 lakh crore rupees. And what are those? agriculture cess and some other cess which they do not need to share with the states, despite the the state center relationship being there and a definite formula being worked out there. But when VAT is being shared, the education cess or the in agriculture cess, this type of cess collected from the oil marketing companies were never shared with anybody. That's the exclusive reserve of the central government. Now my question is, why could you not offset the rise in global crude price? What is your reserve capacity of the oil in the country? How many days are this crude oil about to last in the country? How many days of LPG reserves are you having out here? What is your cost price? Where is the money going to? If we say 1.5 lakhs at the least estimate of the cess being collected, what are you doing with that money? Why can't you offset
I
the
will get
losses?
Sanju to respond to the points you've made, but before that, let me take in a word from Dr. Pooja Mishra as well.
You know, when government says that they have to increase the price as the price of crude oil has increased, we all know that the price of crude oil already increased in the month of March. It was almost $100 per barrel, and at the end of April, it's raised to almost $114 per barrel. But during these 2 months, they didn't increase the price. Their target was to complete the voting in 5 states, and after that, they will increase the price, and they increased it. And that question arises again. Since 2014, before 2014, there was construction. There was a proposal for construction of 3 reservoirs, and after that 3 reservoirs, no new reservoir has been constructed for these oil reservoir or gas reservoir. We have 74 days of reserve for oil, I think, oil. But we haven't planned anything. The government has not planned. What they are saying that we have to increase the price because the global price increases. He's comparing that 30%, 35%. The global price has increased. We haven't increased. Why didn't you increase for 2 months?
Okay.
You were waiting for this election, and still you haven't planned anything. You will increase. You will say that okay, we are ready. We have resolved. We are don't need to panic. And after your
so, are you unhappy that the government managed to protect and insulate the people of this country for at least 2 months? Are you unhappy about it?
Government has not managed. Government has managed to complete their voting part. Government has managed to complete the election period. Government is not trying to protect the people. When the crude oil price dropped from 120 to $60 rupees per barrel, at that time did people...
You know, on 27th of March, the government had slashed the duty on petrol as well as diesel. And that would have really cost the centre also a lot of money, because that is easy revenue for the government. So the government absorbed some shock so that the people can be insulated. Are you saying all that was done for elections?
Obviously, when the crude
okay, Tushar, how will you like to respond? Because this is what the opposition is raising. And you know, my another question is that do you think this shield that the government had provided the people of this country is slowly, reducing? And for how long can it really last? Because the situation in West Asia is not improving.
Hina, you know, people should stop thinking that the crude oil prices or the retail prices are like Uber surge prices. कि आज ऊपर गया तो petrol बढ़ गया, आज कम हो गया तो petrol घट गया. This is not how crude pricing works in the retail market, right? Point number 2, everyone is saying we were waiting for the election results, BJP was doing this, that. No one even considers the possibility that the BJP was hoping for the war to get over in 8 weeks, which it hasn't. Donald Trump and Iran have failed to arrive at a consensus. That is the problem. Indian government, hoping against hope, was hoping that the war will come to an end and we will not have the Hormuz problem ever again. Kamru Zaman Chaudhary here hails the oil bond methodology. The oil bonds cost the government then 1.48 lakh crore rupees. The Modi government paid 3.24 lakh crore rupees for those oil bonds along with the interest. So are you telling by deferring the cost to the future generations is an easy way to manage the crisis. And every time there is an economic crisis, let's kick the can down the road. That's how we should do it. At the point he's asking about where did the money go, where did the surplus go? Has anyone taken a look at the fiscal deficit of India? It's down to 4.4 and it will take a hit. To answer your question, that shield will take a hit, and that shield is also coming down because we are running out of options. 8 weeks, the Hormuz has not functioned normally. That's a very, very long time. And this is not just about India. You look at China with far greater reserves than us when it comes to crude, when it comes to LPG supply. Even they are feeling the pinch. This is no longer an Indian problem. It was never an Indian problem. Now it's a global problem. Every single economy will suffer irrespective of the size of their reserves. Please do not make it a BJP or an Indian problem. It is not. And every crisis cannot have a solution where the payments are kicked down the road for the future generations to take over.
Okay.
This is not the Congress way of thinking that we should
Quick
really
rebuttal,
follow.
Kamruzaman Chaudhary, then Sanju Verma.
You see how they sugarcoat the policies of the government. This is a government which does not have any type of innovative economic policy to offset such a world crisis that we are undergoing. What they do is, in 2014, they increased excise at 17 rupees per litre in 2016. In 2020, during the COVID time, they increased the excise duty at 10 rupees per litre. That comes to around 30-35 rupees per litre of excise duty this government is collecting, accumulating around 25 to 30 lakh crores. Now, are these money spent on the Kumbh Mela? Are these money spent on the Mahakal corridor?
Okay. You've made the point, Kamruzaman Chaudhary. Sanju Verma wants to respond, and then Tushar. Yes.
Thank you. You know, Hina, let's get one thing very clear. The West Asia crisis is the third black swan event in the last couple of years. The first one being the COVID pandemic and the second one being the Russia-Ukraine conflict in 2022. Despite having 3 back-to-back black swan events, hats off to the Narendra Modi government in ensuring that for 17 months prior to February 2026, fuel inflation was in negative territory. Prior to February 2026, for 21 months, transport inflation was in negative territory. Food inflation for 23 months at a stretch was in negative territory till Feb 2026. Let me tell you, today, the inflation overall headline CPI is only 3.41%.
Okay.
And let me tell you one more thing. Hina, please. What is the value-added tax in Telangana, which is a Congress-ruled state? The highest at 39.8%. What is the value-added tax?
Now, politics aside, I want Sanju Verma, you are here today as the national spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party, but you also understand economy. You're an economist. So I would like you to wear your hat of an economist, and I want to ask you, do you think it's a very, very difficult situation that the government is in right now? For the government, it's a tightrope walk because, you know, if the commercial LPG cylinder prices have been hiked by about 933 rupees, the steepest hike that we've seen, does it mean petrol and diesel hike will follow, and that would eventually mean a hike in inflation? So do you think it's a tightrope walk for the government?
You see, Hina, I'm not going to sit here and, you know, say, oh, all is well, all is hunky-dory. If I have to be realistic, yes, we are walking the tightrope walk, but I think the situation is not scary like it was in 2012 when our strategic petroleum reserve was 0. Today, our strategic petroleum reserves are more than 5.3 lakh metric tons. Additional reserves of 6.6 lakh metric tons are work in progress. And my final point, Hina, my final point is that what Hardeep Puri said is very true. Today, LPG production is up 37% and the LPG yield at refineries is up 44%. In 2012, what did Manmohan Singh say? Paise ped par thodi
Chaliye, Dr. Pooja Mishra wants to come in very, very quickly, please.
I'm just saying, don't give the wrong statistics. We have 40 million barrel reservoir, not more than that. And compared to China, China has 400 million barrel reservoir. You don't need to interrupt me when you are providing the statistics. This is the government data.
Okay,
and
Tushar, how will you address this point raised by Dr. Pooja Mishra?
People need to understand that reserves are not a sustainable solution to the crisis we are facing. What India needs is for the Hormuz to open again. That is where our diplomatic efforts have been. We have been
But
dealing
we
with the
don't know when
Iranians on
Hormuz
issue,
will actually open, whether it'll actually become how it used to be before 28th of February or not. So for the Aam Aadmi, do you think pain is on
Yes.
the way? It's on the anvil?
Yes, it's almost there. We have to accept it. Unfortunately, 8 weeks from now, 8 weeks, the war has not got over. There might be pain on the horizon. I think even the people are ready to accept that, or they're looking at that coming in.
Okay.
That's the thing.
Kamruzaman Chaudhary, 10 seconds closing comments.
Particularly the harakiri of foreign policy that the BJP government has done is ditching Iran, our time-tested friend, and going in sitting on the lap of Israel and the USA.
But
Even our
Iran is
relation with
continuously
Russia,
appreciating India. What are you talking about, Kamruzaman Chaudhary?
that's
I mean,
why
you know,
two ships were shot at.
I mean, you have to also see a lot of other developments that have taken place. Anyways, I'm completely out of time. Thank you very much, all of you, for joining us here on this debate. Of course, we're going to be tracking this story closely ahead as well. For now, thank you for joining us here on the News Hour Saturday edition.